Hello, America. I am Vince, and along with me is David, John, and James, and we are your neighborhood's best. This episode is our final episode of our first season, and it's been a fun learning experience. First off, I'd like to give thanks to some of our podcasters that we admire, like Louder with Crowder, The War Room, Timcast, Conan Needs a Friend, Smart List, Life is Short, Conspiracy Social Club, Broken Sims, of course Rogan, and of course our own show.
I would also like to thank my co-hosts. James, your honest opinions and views, although differs from a lot of ours from time to time, brings a healthy and also refreshing diversity, valuable, to the show. We need that outside voice, and you bring it. John, you and I see eye to eye on most topics. We correspond daily. I think I talk to you more than I talk to my wife, actually. But it was you that recognized the group, in the group chat that we had a show in us, and you sparked the idea for your neighborhood's best. And David, besides being one of my favorite persons living, I knew you were the missing piece to the show. Not just for your views and your comic relief in the show, but you're a doer. Without you giving us a kick in the pants, the show would have never got off the ground.
And also, I'd like to thank you guys, the listeners. Without you guys, we'd be nothing. Thank you very much for coming along on this journey with us. Today, this episode's going to be a little different. We usually try to keep it funny, try to not get too deep on certain subjects, because you guys hear that from every other podcast. But that doesn't mean that we don't have opinions on these, these subjects. So today, we're going to dive into the deep end on some of these subjects. Now, that being said, these are just our opinions as of right now. And our opinions are not the only thing that defines who we are, and can be subject to change come the right argument. Anyways, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. Let's get into it.
Woo! Hey folks, we are in it now. A marijuana bong. This is legal in California. James, you were just on a trip, weren't you?
I was, yeah. I went down to Rosarito, actually.
Oh, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, happy birthday, man.
You're a little bit older, a little bit wiser.
That's right, We lost a little bit of brain cells maybe, but, working through it.
So in California, weed's legal. We can enjoy it, We have plenty of different types. Everyone knows I'm no stranger to a substance here and there, I've lived a life. But you said it's the opposite in Mexico, right?
Oh, it's super illegal. It's a big no-no. It's funny too, because I saw like the green medical plus signs.
Yeah, that's like a health store.
I went in there like, oh, you guys saw marijuana mota? And I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Is that kind of embarrassing or?
Very embarrassing, yeah.
They were like, shh, come.
Yeah, it's
come
a big no. So I did end up getting some, but it was all like somebody knew somebody kind of thing. It was all hush hush, and it wasn't very good. It wasn't quality at all. Got the job done though.
Yeah, but I remember it being really illegal when growing up. It was like you get chased. Yeah, like it was illegal. I would pay like expensive money for like a little bit of weed,
Yeah.
and now it's so cheap. I smoke like a chimney.
And the thing is, it always felt so dangerous getting it when I was like younger.
But I remember saying like one day I'm gonna get older, I'm gonna vote, and I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna legalize this. And of course it was me like all drunk and high at a party, like being 15, just like shouting out shit. But come time, I actually did. I voted for marijuana to be legal, and I'm a part of this whole thing. I don't drink anymore. I used to be, everyone knows I used to be a pretty bad alcoholic, but I also used to do meth and stuff when I was younger, but marijuana kind of got me off of it. Like it did the opposite. Everyone says it's gateway. I could smoke more weed and stay away from all that stuff that way. And drinking helped me get off of drinking a bit. So I see there's a lot of pros, and I'm glad it's legal. But I remember being really afraid of having it at one time.
being scared of being caught.
I was actually arrested for it when I was.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up. I wanted you to bring it up yourself.
Yeah. So I was arrested for it in high school. Just smoked a little bit of it with somebody. We were 15. We smoked that out of a piece of paper, not even a real joint wrapper. It was literally a notebook paper.
Did you ever do like the gum? Some people would do like the gum and rip
the gum wrapper is actually better than paper. The gum wrapper was horrible. Yeah, well, it still worked. Yeah. But yeah, I remember being busted for that and being freaked out over that, and I couldn't wait till it was legal, and the whole talks about it, and then it finally being legal. James, I was thinking about something when you're talking about Mexico and how things are really highly legal out there. On the other hand, out there, if you go into, you could get over the counter prescription drugs out there. In Mexico. You could go there. Yeah, you could get like Ritalin, different types of things right over the counter out there.
I've heard that. I've heard people do I forget what they call it, but there's a term for it. But they're there from various countries for the medicine or surgeries too, right?
Yeah, you could get it over the counter. I haven't done it myself, but I do know people who have. Just because I've been like at a resort and I didn't want to leave the resort a little too freaked out, but I knew people that went out and got some stuff out there.
Wow.
So pretty crazy. But I remember seeing those green crosses too.
Right, they're everywhere.
Is that a we paid? No, it's not.
I saw those in Europe too. And
did they say pharmacia? Did they say
pharmacies?
Pharmacy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
only thing they'll use out there for that. I'm like, green.
Yeah, so you can't get marijuana, but you could get oxy out of there.
And you could get some other things too, though. They apparently have like sanctioned where you can do ayahuasca, Wayakama. I have a hard time saying that one. Wauchama, Wayakama.
I think you just made that up.
I have no idea.
But yeah, they're all like similar, where the shamanistic kind of approach, where you're gonna.
Is that even a word?
Is that even a word? But that's kind of what they do within tribal laws here in the States too, though. Don't they have things like that?
I mean, because ayahuasca is a heavy psychedelic. It's a heavy, potent psychedelic. You're supposed to trip for like a day and a half or something. That's one thing. I've done my share of psychedelics too. I'm a big fan. But that one's just like I don't have enough time to do that much. That's an investment, and then I gotta like sit there and deal with all the aftermath after like trying to figure out
man. A lot of people will do it for like just to try to see.
And then that's another thing is like I've actually heard stories of some of those shamans being little touchy feely while you're all fucked up. There was a case that
Never again.
I worked with.
What is my ass feel like that? Ayahuasca? I don't know, man. My ass felt so weird after ayahuasca. That's weird.
They do say
that was trippy, bro.
I thought
my shaman was sure happy that night. I'll tell you that much. He was sure happy.
I know, right?
I mean, you gotta be careful when you put yourself in that vulnerable position. It's like being a drunk chick at a party full of guys. It's like
Yeah, you gotta mind. You gotta watch yourself. You gotta be careful.
Exactly. You can't put yourself in like in the lion's den.
Yeah. Let's just see that fourth man in the fire. Yeah, no, you don't want that. But apparently, yeah, you can do that. I didn't embark on any of that. I didn't try any of that. But I do think that legalization of marijuana, I think it's coming in the States. I mean, obviously, it's state to state, but I think federally it's coming. I wouldn't even be surprised if we hear it sooner or later.
It's slowly, it's very slowly, but it is slowly happening in Texas. When even just since I've been out here, I think they have dispensaries, but it's all from what I've heard, it was only for the terminal.
Medical.
But now I heard that they kind of extended it towards people with like PTSD and stuff. Anybody like veterans.
So they're doing like the medical approach on it, pretty much.
Yeah, I think so. Slowly.
How strict are they on drugs over there, too? In general,
it's still pretty strict. But from what I hear, it's still strict as far as the law. But I think the cops kind of lay off of it a little bit more than they would traditionally.
Okay, I mean, we have like a huge
different parts of Texas too. Like Austin's, I think a lot more lenient than it is than
say.
If
you have bums out there like in Austin doing drugs out in the open and stuff.
That's true. Well, you have that here too. I mean, you have that kind of everywhere now. That's kind of exploded.
It must be like a city thing.
But do you think if they made drugs like say legal, that would solve the problem?
Legalize
I mean, it would be regulated, but I mean, I don't think the people that are already addicted, I think that might not be good for them, but I think for future cases it might be.
And I know that the
Breakthrough.
border and this big old drug cartel fight that we have, if we had our own drugs going, it would solve that. And then their people wouldn't be getting terrorized by like the cartels because they wouldn't have a market anymore. We'd be supplying our own people instead of using foreign governments to give us the drugs.
Uruguay
but guess what happened though after that? Even though it's actually like kind of like how you think will go, but then fentanyl came in. Fentanyl goes, hey, you know what?
Man-made.
Now we got
that's terrible.
It's totally horrible, man. But that's the thing now. It's fentanyl.
Well, it's two different things. Weed and fentanyl are like two different spectrums of what they are.
They are pretty bad, but I mean, if we are talking about drugs, legalizing all drugs,
me personally, I don't think legalizing all drugs is going to solve the problem at all. Sure. I think legalizing certain drugs, and that's my own opinion, will take some of the focus off of focusing on weed, you know what I mean, and some of that stuff, and concentrate more on the more serious stuff that makes people, unfunctioning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right. Pre-prohibition, cocaine was legal, so was marijuana. They didn't come back though. Only alcohol did.
Right.
It's interesting to know.
People had other uses
all the time.
But what do they say? Like the hardest one to kick is alcohol. You know, like.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it was
it's the worst one out there, even though it's like, and it's the legal.
It's the worst legal one because you're allowed to slowly poison and kill yourself with that, you know, and a lot of people aren't strong enough to deal with it. I mean, my own father like struggled with. I mean, eventually killed himself over that alcohol played a huge hand in that, you know, but like it's one for people that are really addicted to alcohol. It's a fucking motherfucker, you know. It sounds like I said. It's like hey, don't eat meat tomorrow. You know, just for now, don't eat meat. Just don't eat meat. I mean, you can do it, but you're not gonna like it, right?
I think the thing with alcohol, it's some people are physically. I mean, I think
there's three different types.
A lot of people get physically, but it's the mentality too. Some people are functioning alcoholics.
No, that's true.
Where they do get shit done.
I was a functioning alcoholic for a long time.
After your age,
my case isn't like everybody's case.
To kick though, it doesn't make it easier to kick. You know what I mean? And it is very easy to slip into the other part of not being functioning too. So it's a fine line that you ride, and it's a weird one because it's not weed either. So
you do it till you weave. Yeah, and weed, like I said, like it's grows from the ground, it grows from the earth. You know, it is less deadly. You know, I'm not gonna go driving 100 miles all stoned. You know.
Alcohol is kind of natural in a way, though, right? The decomposition of fruits.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like I said, I love it, dude. I absolutely love it. Yeah. Like, I only don't drink it because I have a problem, you know. But
it isn't growth, though. It isn't growth. It's death of the cells,
if I could, though, I would drink it like every day, all day. You know, I absolutely love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, do you think so? But real quick though, let me ask you, Vince, on the topic of legalization, like across the board, right? Because I agree with David more or less that, like, we should. But let's imagine. Let me ask the question: if it was all the way, do you think there's like a breakthrough point where, okay, everyone's now getting fucked up, but then eventually people wise up to it and they don't want to do that anymore, and the breakthrough starts to happen?
Well, I think so.
Potential for that,
or they die.
I think so. Like, take my kids for instance. Like marijuana is like old people stuff, you know. They're like, oh, like that old people smoke that stuff, you know. So it's like kind of funny because like to me it was like so cool growing up and this and that, and I'm glad that they're like that. I'm glad that they're not like, you know, wanting to smoke all the time or anything. But it seems it's more of a silly thing to them than anything, you know. So I think the culture has a huge thing to play with it too. I think, like I said, the people who are already addicted to these substances, like say heroin, and so heroin's legal. I don't think you're going to make them any better at all by making it legal. You know, I think they're just going to probably eventually die out, which is, you know, sucks to say. But I think you would be getting cleaner product, and I don't think
fact. That's my biggest thing. Go on.
Yeah, and then like I said, the border crisis. You know, like those people wouldn't be terrorized. You know, or Mexico would have to find another country to sell to. You know, but everyone knows America loves all their drugs. You know, but
what do you think? What do you think, David?
I mean, I agree with. I kind of agree with you guys. Certain things should be
in their own part. Like there is the stigma that, like, okay, if it's boring, if everybody's doing it, maybe I don't want to do it because it's not illegal. It takes some of that away. But I don't think that's necessarily true either, because there's certain things that are just addicting if you do them. Me personally, chewing tobacco. I never thought I would do chewing tobacco. There was nothing about it. I never liked it. It seemed like an old timey thing, something like that. I tried it one day. I was drinking. I got a nice little buzz off it, and I was kind of hooked. Probably second time I did it, and I
It's
really
easy to get high off things, man.
Yeah,
Like-
just because you get it because I like that high from it off of something that I didn't think was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's still kind of unattractive having, tobacco in your mouth, having that smell like it.
But there's a
going
whole
through-
culture that goes along with it too, though.
There is, but I didn't fall into that
Spigot.
culture. That had nothing to do with it.
Yo, I ain't no
was-
Joe Camel.
But that's tobacco and nicotine. When it comes to fentanyl and these stronger things,
Oh, those are terrible. Yeah.
to begin with, even if it is illegal, even if it's not, I don't think there's a appeal to it, except for being high on something and wanting to be even higher.
I think certain drugs,
You know what I mean?
drugs should be
You're
outlawed. I agree with that. I mean, because that's obviously it's like I don't think people take it on purpose. I think people take it by accident, and then all of a sudden they're either hooked on it or they're dying on it.
What do you think, John?
I just gotta say, let's look at Portland, right? Let's look at like downtown LA. Like this is like we're already seeing it in action. You know what I mean? Because right now, regardless if it's legal or not, people are doing that shit. They're getting their hands on it. So we're seeing the product of it. And I think LA even tried to kind of expedite the thing, like giving needles.
The Vancouver approach, right?
Yeah, giving needles, giving like crack pipes. It's
Didn't San Francisco do that?
Yeah, San Francisco did that shit too. And now you see it.
I hear it's wonderful over there.
Fields of freaking fields of needles and fields and shit like that, and they're all just dying off themselves. So I'm thinking the approaches, like the moral of it is yeah, you got to do your own personal responsibility. But I think as if you have really high morals, people are gonna want to help each other regardless. Let's try to help this person.
So you think society would be structured?
But government is not the way, though. You know what I mean? I don't think having government entrenched in. So I don't know, because then you get the whole flooding. You get the whole flooding over the border, right? You get the whole flooding of drugs over the border. So you kind of need federal to put a stop to it. But I mean, as regulated, I think it should be probably per city. Let's try the city approach, right? But then you could see what's going on. So
then there'd be the crime side and the good side, or who goes over to that side, or
yeah, exactly.
The whole population stigma.
But I think it just these new man-made drugs are nothing that naturally
dangerous.
Yeah, it's yeah, because even with the whole fentanyl thing, right? It's man-made. It doesn't grow from the ground. It's done for something, but and if you do a lot of it, you're gonna die, right? But if you smoke marijuana for the rest of your life, it's okay, you're probably just gonna get stupid or just get
lung cancer too. I mean, you're inhaling smoke. Let's not fool nobody.
Yeah.
It's not good for you to breathe in smoke, but
but there's
as a
other
recreational.
Eat it, right? You can eat it and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
I heard that Colombia, just for the first time ever, that cocaine is now officially the #1 export, and their current president has a very friendly view on the coca crop, how they cultivate it. They keep it it's nationalized pretty much. They're looking doing that too. It's kind of fascinating, but it gets stomped on the way up.
Wait, isn't there a country down there?
They add fentanyl to it, and it's you don't. No one can just do drugs normal. You can't just do it say Fun Nightclub anymore. You got to worry fuck, am I gonna be dead in the bathroom stall if I take a hit of this? Or hey, no, you take one first, dude. And hope that your friend dies instead of you, and then you're oh shit, dude.
That's messed up. Dude.
I got him the shit.
Hey,
sample this for me. It's if King has the taste testers right before you eat it first.
It's kind of fucked,
How do you feel? How do you feel? Okay, you feel good?
But David, I want to talk more about this whole chewing tobacco. I didn't realize you're into chewing tobacco.
I haven't done it.
You got a kit? You got a kit? Where you spittoon?
So
how do you do that?
I haven't done it in probably close to 2 months now. But I started with the raw chewing tobacco, long grain cut and things like that. And then I hated getting it in my teeth, and I switched. They actually sell pouches.
Okay.
So that
it's in a pouch.
Get out. Like
Yeah,
the
and even-
snooze, right? They're like the snooze.
so yeah, exactly, like those ones, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
because
remember those, man.
they sell caffeine ones now. They sell caffeine pouches as well, like with coffee pouches. They sell those as well now. So
Yeah, I've
basically
seen
the same
those,
thing,
like-
but it's tobacco. But it was really when I was drinking a lot, and then I would want one. That's the only time I would do it was when I was drinking, but I was drinking all the time. But going back to like the homeless, when we're talking about fentanyl and things like that.
Oh yeah.
So you know, when you see them, they're usually pretty scrawny. They're spending all their money on that. What about the homeless that are obese and
There's
kind
a
of,
lot of those actually too.
you know,
And I forgot what I was looking at, but I was looking at these different studies or different things here and there, and then I heard that, say, like the vitamin content that are in vegetables now, like say zucchinis, stuff you eat every day, tomatoes, squashes, and things are like 75% less than what they used to be, and I don't have any data backing this up, but I've seen some stuff, and but look it up though. But that what would make sense though is it's easier to buy like $1 cheeseburger from McDonald's when you're poor.
wait,
Hey, that shit's gone.
Wait, wait.
50 cents.
There's so many.
this is
No,
still
but
wrong.
listen,
He's got the data.
I have the answers right here.
Okay,
I have the documents.
consensus. When's the last time you saw an obese homeless person?
Yesterday.
I have a hard time thinking of it. You saw one yesterday?
Yeah,
How about-
there's a bunch of the freeway on the
I
freeway.
see quite a bit.
I see a lot.
I seen
you
a
say
couple.
obese,
They're really big.
you
wearing
mean really
laying
big,
down
right?
with their ass showing. You're like, yeah, it's
You
fat
mean
boys,
really
dude.
big, right? And they lost a leg or a foot, right? Because
Yeah,
of
they're probably
sometimes.
also
diabetes,
Sometimes, but sometimes not.
unregulated.
Oh, with the drugs.
And
too,
then
it-
in LA, you see quite a bit of different folk over there.
yeah,
but,
usually on wheelchairs and shit like that. But they'll lose their
But
shit.
the thing is, I think what it is the food that we have nowadays has no nutrition in it. So what people are doing is they're like just compacting their body with what they think is like healthy for them, and like I said, that would explain all like plants are supposed to get.
You're trying to say that the United States government does not care about our health?
No, I think it's big business. I think it's a lot of money to keep you sick, and even if you think you're doing something good for yourself, you're probably not. You don't know where your lettuce is coming from. You don't know what chemicals they're putting in that to
You're
it's not
trying
natural.
to say that the lobbyists for these corporations
people would
don't have
eat
best
stuff
interests?
that was half bitten by bugs, and you just cut that part off, and just you would eat food like there. Now you're so afraid of having something because you're so afraid of the germs, and you probably should be afraid of the germs because you lost all the immunities to like these bugs that like were more natural. We're losing more by overproducing, and then we can buy this for cheap, so you're just filling your body with like
That
foam.
looks pretty good though.
Of course
Bastards.
it looks good.
I'm
It
not
probably
gonna
tastes
lie,
fucking
it
bomb,
does
dude. I
look
want one
good,
right now.
doesn't it? That's the
Those
thing.
bastards,
I
like,
want
know
one
how
right
to
now.
cook it. They got the best.
taste,
They got the best bacon. They
it's
got
meant
the
to taste
best.
the same every single time you buy it. Also, every single time you buy that sandwich, it's going to taste exactly like that. Like that. When it doesn't,
That's
you're gonna
fucking
get mad.
scary.
You're gonna be like, "Ew, this one's bad. Something's wrong with
It's
it."
the science of it, right? Where
But
they're like,
yeah, they have
down
it down for like oils and everything, and it's fake. It's all fake food, And another thing I was thinking of is everything's free. That air is free, water is free, food's free, shelter's free, everything. Like I saw.
Wait, where are you getting free water from?
No, I'm just saying in the
Sign
world.
me up.
No, in the world. If you were just allowed to be born and not immediately put into a system, like, all right, let me give you a shot real quick. Let me write down your number real quick. Let me process you. Let me do this. You're immediately put in the system as a little kid, as a baby. And then you're in this track, and guess what? Your parents have plans for you, and everyone has plans for you as well. You're not allowed to
and
just like
fast food. They got
and then all of a sudden we need to make money. We're not allowed to just say have a baby and just then just live and just, hey, I made my own house. I'm living by a stream. I'm cooking my own food.
But look at how great marketing like it was back in the day, like the 90s and 80s with McDonald's. Because my parents, for us, we were like, hey, we're going to McDonald's. We were like, oh my God.
It was a big thing,
we're
right?
going-
Dude, I watched
we're gonna go
nostalgic commercials, and I
Right.
remember I remember wanting everything from there, all the toys, all the everything.
Right? So it's just kind of they hooked you and like hooked our parents too, because they'd be like, hey guys, we're going to McDonald's. Like,
Yeah.
and you're like,
We
whoa,
didn't really
wow.
get too much, but my grandma would get like
kids up, you know what I
20
mean?
cheeseburgers
Set the
sometimes.
kids up, like, let's take them there.
Yeah.
Look like heroes for the day for fucking cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I bought 20 cheeseburgers, then you bring it home to the family.
Yeah, I mean they're so cheap though, you know, these meals. But you know, I think it was Fast Food Nation or Supersizing, I forget which one it was, but he says that the author says that there's scientists, right, that are like working on how to make a French fry exactly. Every fry is always the same, and their theory, like their methodology, is to get you when you're young, because it's a fact. What you taste when you're younger, you will seek it again throughout life. So when I ever go to
programming.
McDonald's, you know what I get at McDonald's? I get the bullshit fucking cheeseburger, which is National
I do too.
Cheeseburger Day.
Yeah.
But that's what I get. The simple thing. I don't want like what their latest grade. I don't give a shit about that.
Is McDonald's your favorite cheeseburger, James?
I
Heck
rarely go.
Heck no.
Oh, it's National
Heck no.
Cheeseburger Day, huh?
It is.
What is your favorite cheeseburger?
Probably In-N-Out.
And that's pretty good, but no, I can't give it to a big old thing like that. You know, what comes to mind is a place
like,
at the park called Low Boy. That's
You
You
guys
can't be
get
like,
some
oh, this
down the
one little
street?
place down the street that makes really good burgers.
There was a place
Like,
called Funky's in San Diego. It's pretty good.
it's funky.
Yeah, Funky's. And Beef and Bun, they're pretty good too.
The Greyhound, that place I used to work at, they made a really good hamburger.
They did. Smash Burgers are where it's at. You guys you familiar with Smash Burger? It's like all the rave now.
Yeah, I
there's
just
one over here.
my favorite, but it is a good burger.
It's like a style. It's just
Yeah,
just squish that patty even thinner than ever. It's
yeah.
all
Burger?
I mean,
Yeah,
like
'cause for me, like,
I don't know if this would fall into it, but like as far as burger, just the burgers in general, not just the cheeseburger, but Tommy's Burgers, California.
Oh yeah.
It's the one thing I miss like most of all out here. Granted,
Yeah, I
we
think everyone
chili
does.
cheese,
The
chili cheese.
Yeah.
I hear that from
cheese.
everybody.
little
I never
yellow
eat
chilies
Tommy's
on the
anymore.
side and just
And you never get the chili cheese fries. For anyone who hasn't ever had it, what you do is you get the burger with chili, and then there's always extra chili from the burger. You use that for the fries. Because if you get the chili on the fries, it's way too
Yellow
much.
chilies, and you just pour
Yeah,
it
they'll
over the fries.
I usually get both, but I know what you
You
mean.
get
James.
both?
I
Yeah.
do get both, but I know what you mean. I'm satisfied with the way that you're saying it, so I won't be upset if I get that because I know there will be extra chili, but I love the.
But
chili
these
so
things
much.
are addicting, and they're causing a huge problem, and they're not that expensive.
But I didn't hear John. What's your favorite burger, John?
Well, for a Charboro,
Jimmy
like right
Burger.
now, bro,
Yeah.
I want to say like, yeah, there's a mom and pop shop like down the street over here. That theirs is pretty good. They're called teriyaki and bowls,
Mm.
but they make burgers too.
Oh yeah, I
Which
always
is
used to
kinda
call them China
interesting.
burgers because they're usually run by like
Yeah,
Chinese
they
people.
yeah.
And then
And
it's-
there was like burger, and they had like some
put a
cool
big
teriyaki
pineapple on
thing.
it.
Well, you could.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't get pineapple on my shit. Like,
I don't either. I don't
I've
either.
never had that.
Those places are great though.
No, I'll put it on pizza. I don't mind.
Yeah, I
But
don't
yeah,
mind.
yeah, they have a good spot.
I love
But, like,
pineapple,
for
just not
fast
on pizza,
food-
bro. It's not supposed
Yeah,
to be
for
there.
fast food and shit. Let me see. Yeah, I gotta go. You guys got the two good ones, man. You got In-N-Out and Tom's.
The greatest marketing piece.
McMoon?
McDonald's ever created. That's right. No, Mac Tonight.
Mac.
That's his name. Mac Tonight.
Mac.
So I was with
Yeah,
I
let me
was-
get back to you on that one.
yeah,
Because I want to
was-
say Carl's Jr. like for fast food burgers.
Oh,
But then
yeah,
it's
I
not
like
really.
that chicken bacon Swiss burger. I fucking love that over there.
Not really. Yeah.
but Vinny, when I was at Trans-American, me and Frankie, we went out and we got In-N-Out
Hook Burger is
In-N-Out
good.
and Tommy's and smashed them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to do it.
One time, me and Speezy, we got a pizza uncut, and we just fucking put ranch all in it and just ripped it apart. And he ate half, and I ate half. And he was
Oh, I
we were
thought
just like,
I thought you guys were gonna meet in the middle.
yeah, or just cheese. So
Yeah, just mac and
cheesy,
cheese.
Speezy.
Put a long cheese and you kiss.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyways, who do you think's gonna what's up with the election?
Oh damn, you're just jumping right there, dude. You're
Yeah.
just jumping right in. Let's just jump in.
Let's do it. Let's eat that.
Not,
Well,
yeah,
I think Joe Biden is gonna try to do a legalization of marijuana as a pitch to keep be reelected or whatever you call it. I don't know, but I think that's like one of those things. I'm not saying
It is in the
I'm not
works.
saying he's the
I
answer.
think that he
but
is
I think
mentally
that's a-
incompetent.
I'm not
It's in the
saying
works.
he's competent or incompetent. I'm saying if that goes on the table, a lot of people might all of a sudden be like, well, okay, I'll take a decrepit old guy, sure.
It could be a deciding factor.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
because a
think
lot
this
of
is like
people
going to be one of the last elections you'll see, or do you think things are going to drastically change? Because like Trump is a wild man too, you know.
Sure.
I mean, I think that finding new candidates is a good way to go. You know, if I had to pick one, I lean more towards Republican, but I don't go all the way Republican. You know, I have my own thoughts on my own things. Also, you know,
but if you had to,
if I had to, I'd probably
go
go Republican. No, I mean I do go Republican if I have to, yeah. And then especially if I see like corruption and crime going on this, but I also think that it should be played both ways. I don't think something should happen to that team that shouldn't be allowed on our team either. I think both teams should be held to both extents of the law. And I think I really think that people in power should get just as in trouble as I would get in trouble, you know? Like the whole Hunter Biden gun thing, you know? It's like, dude, I'd be in jail for fucking ever, dude. I'd say goodbye to my family. I'd never see my kids grow up, you know, and I'd be put away forever. This guy, like, now they're saying like what like he's gonna get off, dude. He's not gonna go to jail for fucking 20 years, you know.
He's been getting off for a long time.
Yeah, he has been. Yeah, he's been a pervert. He's been like this, you know, the whole thing. But I don't want to just get too much on him. We're talking about the election because Trump's kids are no angels either, you know.
But Barron's really tall though. That kid's really tall.
That kid's from the future. That kid is.
I'm pretty sure Barron could beat James up.
I mean, he could probably beat a lot of people up. You know?
Barron gonna fuck you up, bro.
I heard that guy's like,
but yeah, who knows?
5 or 6, 7.
Yeah, he's big, dude. He's a tall guy.
Yeah,
he's a tall guy. But I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things that could change stuff. I know there's a strike that just happened with cars and shit. United Automotive worker, like this stuff could change things, right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if Ford all of a sudden isn't being made anymore, like people are going to start talking about that as a political
change a lot of fucking things.
I mean, is it going to end with one of these guys going to the jail, either Trump or Biden?
Well, Hunter Biden's already about to go to jail, I thought.
Is he though? I mean,
he got indicted, and I don't know if I saw convicted, but I know he's trying to sue the IRS because he thinks they released someone released his tax documents to show the dirtiness, that showed the corruption. Well, no, but if they did show the corruption on it, then someone goes down also. But it may also be a stinger. I don't know. Did Trump ever show his tax returns? Did that ever happen?
That's something that did come out on it at one point. Yeah,
he a limited release though, right? It was like a limited, like only this many years. He didn't go like to a certain.
I don't remember. I think I think it was a little bit shameful, but it was all within this extent of the law. You know.
Yeah.
I think kind of came out of that.
It was like almost towards like the halfway point of his presidency or some shit like that. It's a while back.
Yeah.
What about you, James? If you had to pick.
Well, I mean, I got nobody in the race right now that I like personally.
No. But just if you had,
who I think's gonna win?
Well, no. I was thinking more if you had to choose, not saying that you.
Who do we got? Who are
Biden? I just mean parties.
Oh, parties.
Red or blue?
Red or blue?
We're putting
I think it's good to go back and forth. I
know the politically incorrect answer. I'm saying if you had to choose. Life or death, you just had to choose.
I mean, I don't know what the options are. I had to know who I'm running and who am I up against, you know?
Just right now, if you had to choose.
Well, I agreed with I thought Mitt Romney said it very well that these guys aren't the guys that should be leading anymore. He's absolutely right. I think he's a bit of a shell himself or whatever, but at the same time, it's true. Like you're 76-year-old, you're 81-year-old, you're whatever-year-old. And it's like
Democrat,
there are a lot of millennials. There are literally a lot of millennials to the point where it's like at this point, Gen X and millennials need to get in there. Like
millennials.
That's the thing. The Democrats don't have anybody young right now, even if you wanted to. Who's the youngest?
You danced around that question wonderfully, James. You danced around that question wonderfully.
Very good. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like what? AOC? Like come on, AOC is probably the hottest one in the Dems.
I mean, that's going off looks, though, you know.
The one that could actually do it, like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he could probably do like a good.
He's very interesting to me. Very interesting.
Yeah, like he could do a good.
But he's not a favorite of that party within themselves.
Right. Yeah, he would cannibalize them a little bit. But that's the thing. Like I'm under the persuasion now. I'm sure this is totally up for debate, but it seems like the Democrats have a little bit more of like this is what John, we were talking about this, you and I. The Democrats have a little bit more of like, this is the body, while Republicans have a spectrum of like you could fall within any of these areas. So there's more room for disagreement, and that's allowed. While Democrats are like, no, keep it right here. This is what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why a lot of the red like people go, "Oh, you guys are in the cult. Oh, you guys are in the cult," because it's like such a secluded view now, right? You don't have like the big, hey, bring those old like
it might be the
blue values. It's like, no, we're like this now. We're against like the Second Amendment. We hate guns because you saw it in Nevada. But before, like Democrats used to love the Second Amendment. Or they used to love it. Yeah, New Mexico. Yeah, the New Mexico governor. She totally wanted to ban it, and that's a Democratic governor. So she kind of like, whoop, there you go. Yep, there's the first one that did it.
There it is.
And they go, there it is. So
start rolling back them,
so
right?
everybody sees like people radical, but when like you got Robert F. Kennedy Jr., that's still kind of like, still a little bit like establishment, but still kind of has his head screwed on. People are like, no.
Cunning lawyer.
No. He's saying too much. He's saying too much. It's kind of crazy though, man. So then you kind of go, who's really in charge? Who's really
do you
like
believe everything he's saying?
Do you want a lawyer as your president?
I believe that he means goodwill. Like I don't know. Like
lawyer knows the law.
Cunning lawyer. That's what they say. That's what he said. He said someone didn't debate him. They were like, they
that
didn't want to
Hotez,
debate. Fauci didn't want. He's a cunning lawyer. Cunning lawyer.
No, what's this? Yeah, the other scientists didn't want to debate him. I forgot the other scientists.
Well, that's because they know they're going to lose. They're like, no, he's just going to prove us wrong. Like Fauci's had to sign stuff saying like, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. Oh, there's no value in this. Like that's experimental, dude.
Like now, after reading that from this thing from work, that you can't even give like the COVID-19 original shot. You cannot give it anymore. It's not approved.
Yeah, so they threw it in the trash.
So basically, you just get anybody that has it throws it away, because if you do give it, now that's a federal crime because you're giving something that's not FDA approved. Isn't that fucking crazy, man? That's
so you already gave me the thing. You made it FDA approved, and then you took it away real quick. Like, all right, gotcha.
So it's kind of interesting, man. But now we got this new shit. You got to try this new shit we got.
That's right. Yeah, everything you got to metamorphosize. This is where we come up.
This is where we come to our next topic.
Well, I mean, it's not even that. It's like this is on topic. The butterfly. I don't know much about it. I just know that. What is a metamorphosis? Because we're talking about a new president. We're talking. Oh, is it a stolen election? Are these two old people legalizing drugs?
We'll say
abortion and Supreme Court stuff. Like the country's in a flux right now, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It needs to happen, I guess, right?
Everything's over centralized, and we're not really seeing the truth. We're seeing. The people aren't this extreme, and we're just only seeing the extremes. So,
we're seeing towards the end of an empire, and I don't think
one person.
Dave, you know what? If I could ask you, where do you stand on insect abortions?
Oh, damn! You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I've long been a fan of Jack Kevorkian, who I believe deserves name recognition for what he did, because he literally went to jail and said, I'm going to go to jail, so we're talking about it. To talk about it. He said it like in his disposition.
That happened on X-Men too. Beast went to jail.
I believe in it. I believe the right to live and the right to die are valid.
You don't want to be held into this,
individually, is what you're saying.
Individually, yeah. I'm not saying but I mean, I'm sure it's like a rigmarole going through it. Like you should have terminal. Like it shouldn't be a kid. It should be like someone terminal.
Well, so that's with like assisted suicide, but then I was talking about insect abortion. So,
I don't know what that is. What is that? Elaborate.
Abortion.
So, like if I grab like a caterpillar or a butterfly, and I squeeze the baby out of it.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel sad. I feel kind of sad about it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think abortion should be something that should be totally legal, in a not total. Let me take that back, because that could mean bigger. I mean, it should be the choice should be available. The third trimester is obviously immoral because the child's fully in. There's got to be like some crazy exception, but I think like a first trimester, morning after pill, first like 6 to 8 weeks, that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm not sure if maybe 8 to 10 weeks, all that's within reason to me, that the choice should be available. There's no reason to restrict choice That's how I view it, at least.
So, all right. So, do you think it's solely up to the giver of the child or to both parents to make that decision?
I would give it to I would say the woman should be the one to make that decision.
Here we go.
Okay,
That's what-
well, I heard a joke where a guy was like, he's saying like,
Warm
okay, so
baby.
if it's your choice to kill the baby, then it's my choice not to pay child support, or my choice not to be there to raise the kid.
How you feel about that one? That's
little
That's
zanger.
illegal.
Oh, that's obfuscating duty at that point.
bingo,
Like
bango,
it's-
bongo. That's what they call it.
No, that's not, because like if the woman decides to kill it, then no one's gonna say don't, like no one can tell her to not to kill it. But if the guy goes, don't kill the baby, don't kill the baby, I want to raise it, then he's shit out of luck, right? But now if the guy goes, kill that baby, I'm not gonna pay child support. No, I want to keep the baby, I want to keep the baby. Then why does he have to pay child support?
I know that there are instances where people don't pay their child support, and because it's arranged between the two people, that we just work it out between ourselves.
No, we're talking.
But you could get the state involved, just like you could go get married and let the government say, "Oh, these two are in love." That's what this is. Is it?
How does the government know who the hell is in love?
Because it
Where's the
doesn't,
love?
John. But
Where's
just you
the
go
love
get
meter?
married because
I'm
you
in
need
love.
a
I'm in love
document,
right now.
and the
Yeah.
document gives you tax
There's
incentives.
a test they take.
And
It's a test they take.
it's a test.
Yeah, you have to have both vaccines though first.
You have to fully boost
See,
it.
we're stuck in the system, it's like that. I kind of think I gotta go with the like Bill Burr approach. He had a funny like a funny joke about it. One of which I'll show you right now.
Sense to me because I don't like people telling me what to do, and I always just like, it's your body. Who the fuck am I to tell you what to do with your body? So that always made sense. All right. However, I still think you're killing a baby. See? That's where it gets weird. It's not a baby yet. That's what they say, which may or may not be true. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'll tell you, my gut tells me that doesn't make sense. It's not a baby yet. That would be like if I was making a cake and I poured some batter in a pan and I put it in the oven, and then 5 minutes later you came by and you grabbed the pan, you threw it across the floor, and I went, what the fuck, you just ruined my birthday cake. And then you were like, well, that wasn't a cake yet. It's like, well, it would have been. If you didn't do what you just did, there would have been a cake in 50 minutes. Something happened to that cake, you cake murdering son of a bitch. Right? Pro-choice always made sense to me.
Yeah, so,
because I don't like people telling me what to do.
I don't know. That's kind of like the way I feel too. And oh, that thing's still playing.
No, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel too about it. It's like it should be the woman's choice. But yeah, that whole like killing the baby, like 1 minute up to conception, like it's like, come on, dude. There's a point where it's start to see when humans start noticing human like features on something, we immediately are like drawn to like, oh, this thing's alive, But I think there is circumstances. Yeah, I do think no matter what, people are going to get abortions, and by taking away the choice, you're just making it dangerous, and you're causing harm to both people. Maybe there should be a little bit of counseling involved in it just before. It's like, oh, I had to do these 2 weeks of counseling just before I get it done. As I get everything ready. But like I said, the third trimester, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, there has to be something really
Right.
like
I'm sure that can't be
that's gonna like
illegal.
kill somebody that's gonna actually kill the mother if it doesn't happen. I don't know. I don't.
If it was in a world where like rape was happening like 100%, but the thing is, most of these abortion, they were saying statistically it's like 0.1, like that it's a rape victim. Like, so it's hardly a rape.
Yeah, they're
A
just
lot of
people
people
making
are
bad
using, like,
choices.
Yeah, they're using it as a person. Like, what is that? One per
Contraceptive.
contraception, right? They're using it as that. Like, oh, I'm just gonna go get an abortion.
The
I'm
morning
just gonna go
after.
do this. Yeah, so like they don't exactly. They don't have
Well, I
like
mean,
the-
psychologically, like some women do have deep thoughts about it later on
Dude,
as they
a
get
lot.
older.
Any
But I mean,
woman
there
I've
should
ever
be
known
limit.
that's ever done it has had a lot. I mean, like
Yeah. I mean, I
emotional
know.
turmoil. And that's where I do think there is counseling that happens before all this stuff. I think that's kind of probably.
But I think
normal.
there is a limit. There should be a limit up to like when you should get it. Because if you wait that long and go, man, You're just doing it because that guy left, and you're like, nah, man, just have that baby, let it for adoption, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's a good option.
you know what I mean? But like they have, that's why like in like Colorado,
But where
you
do
can
those
wait.
babies go? Also, that's a whole another spooky story.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's another that's a next season. But
Yeah, we'll go deep into that. Some of my my podcast heroes.
Do you think, guys? Do you think this is a problem with aliens? Though? Do you think aliens talk about abortion like this? Do they, John? Do you think Bigfoot talks about abortion like this? You know,
he goes.
I heard on one of the on something else. Bigfoot's probably just like the hobo that lives in between like realities, and he just kind of hangs around, and everyone's like, "Oh wow," but everyone else is like, "Ew, dude, you're gross." Because like,
but if aliens are just wearing Bigfoot skin,
oh, you remember?
Are they really pulling out the skin?
like an astronaut suit?
Oh, is it really a Bigfoot, or is it the alien that's doing the abortion itself?
Well, Mexico has their.
And then if they are doing abortions, why are they probing us, taking eggs from females when they abduct them? That doesn't make sense either.
Second skin.
Yeah,
second skin that can do extra things.
But I think abortion should it should stop where like the baby stops, like it's just still like a clump. You know what I mean? Like
some people don't know though. Like they find out like later on, like, oh shit, 4 months down the line that they're
I didn't get my fucking period for 4 months.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck yeah. Or like oh fuck, I was taking a shit and the baby came out.
That happens.
Yeah, I didn't know I was pregnant.
You say that all the time, John.
That's always John's
favorite go-to.
His favorite go-to.
He goes, "Don't go in there right now."
Don't go in there right now. There's a baby in there.
I don't know, And what if they, I don't know, man. That's heavy stuff, dude. But life is a beautiful thing, though. I agree that it should be viewed as a positive stuff. I do wonder though, if when that Mexican Congress was showing those aliens, one of them had a baby in it. Or if it had aborted a child prior.
Yeah, it had 3 eggs in it. One of them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, one of them had 3 eggs. You didn't see the picture of it?
No.
Well, let me see if I can pull it up.
Well, tell me what you know about it. What are you talking about? What kind of baby egg?
There's like a little small alien too. You're like, what the hell?
Oh well, they're only 3 feet tall. Like they're that's just. But the thing is, they're saying, oh, it's a hoax because there was a hoax. Supposed hoax in Siberia. The kid said, "Oh, we made it out of chicken skin and did all this, like really crafted it crazy." But for them to craft one in Siberia and then craft another one in Mexico, like then plant it, it's just like it's the same style of alien you've seen in a lot of different areas. And in Peru, there's a bunch of different alien sightings, like crazy.
Sure, Nazca lines. Yeah.
No. But I mean, there's like besides the Nazca lines, there's
sightings
like,
and stuff.
Yeah. Like they're actually deal with it. And then what? And
yeah, there's that big city where like something like aliens happen. And the whole city knows about it. It's like the whole town knows.
Oh, that's that one.
I feel like David should be telling us about this.
That documentary. I forgot the name of it.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that First Contact.
Wait. They just handed it now.
There.
So in all reality,
I think it was like in Russia or something, right? It was a small town in Russia.
No, it wasn't Central. It was in South America.
Okay,
I think that's what I'm talking about. But
the one in South America where it was like a village.
It's like a village. Yeah, it was like a small village, but the whole
laser beams.
Yeah, like, and everybody had the same recording. Yeah, I know.
Like they were all like in sync. Like what happened, who went down there, what they saw. Like the government shut it all down, took everything. Everybody's saying the same shit, and you're like, whoa! I forgot the name of that.
John, could it be? Look it up. But couldn't it be though, John? Because I want to know, like, if you can find that. I feel like it's Brazil for some reason, but that was something I saw with the light that was shining. It's hot.
Yeah, Joe Rogan had that guy on too. He was talking about it.
But what about art fraud? Couldn't, like, if they could fraud art, right? If they can make like a Rembrandt or a Caravaggio or whatever.
What were those eggs in the tridactyl aliens that we saw today during the Mexican Congress hearing, where both bodies had implants made of very rare metals like cadmium and osmium. These supposed aliens were living among us and were found fossilized in algae mines. One naval surgeon presented X-ray done on the aliens, where the corpses are between 700 and 1800 years old, with X-rays showing one has mysterious eggs inside. They were found in Peru. The unidentified bodies also only had 3 fingers on each hand, elongated heads, lightweight bones, and no teeth, belonging to tridactyl beings. A tridactyl simply means having 3 toes or...
All right, well, you get the gist of it.
Elementals in Ireland, right? Live under the ancient trees, these little beings.
Yeah, gnomes. And they believe in fairies. Or no, the Norwegian believe in fairies, right?
But I'm just saying, couldn't it be just an elaborate hoax in that, like the Shroud of Turin or kind of thing, you know, where it's like, if someone could fake a painting and you're like, well, how do they do that? They're like, they're a great artists themselves, but they just
what was that Shroud during debunked?
That's that Jesus one.
Yeah, but was it debunked?
It hasn't been debunked yet. I mean, it kind of has theorized, but they don't let
I guess it would get them their
doesn't let
tourism.
them view it. Last time they viewed it was in the 70s. Like, no, I guess we'll look at it. No one looks at it anymore.
But I mean, don't you think it'd be damaging for a government to stand behind something like that and then have it be a forgery, or have it be fake, you know?
But Congress is to talk about it, right? They're just talking about it.
No, but they're saying it's real. They're like, look, we've X-rayed them. We have like 23 bodies. Here's 3 of them we're showing you right now.
I didn't hear Abrador say that.
I've heard a lot.
I didn't hear their president say that. You know, I'm just saying they have, like, we had a congressional thing. You'd take it or leave
Did the president say he saw like a devil or something? Or he said he saw like something, like a chupacabra or something.
Oh, dang. I don't know. But the chupacabra is more like Puerto Rico, I think.
Come on, man.
But I mean, the shroud, though, just to briefly get back on the Shroud of Turin, it's for anyone who's unaware of it, our listeners, that's the cloth they put on Jesus, is the idea that it superimposed and instilled like a
blood, right?
Right. Yeah, it's almost like an X-ray, kind of like, because there's a light that shined on it.
They did do an X-ray on it, and that is where they saw, or something of
It's
UV
crazy.
light, and they saw it.
You know what they said, David? They said, if this is a hoax, this person was onto some like new ass technology that has never been explained at that time. Like we could do it today, but how did they do it then?
Or it was just put over somebody else with a bloody face.
Yeah, that looked kind of like you never
like
know.
a new age hoax to make it look older, you know.
And then people are like, oh, why would they make a hoax for 1,000 years later? It's like, dude, you don't know how human beings are. Like, I would love to trick somebody 1,000 years later.
It's like writing your name in writing your name in concrete, you know. It's like, why else write your name in stone for it to be seen before the ages? That's what we should all be doing, is writing all our information on.
You had said that, and I've been thinking about that more and more, actually. Just because
maybe just write it on rocks, you know, or like find a way to like chisel small on rocks, or like make a little code and just show the code, Morse code or something, you know.
Yeah.
And there's rocks everywhere, like, oh, this is how you make a sandwich. This is what a sandwich, or this is, or just a dictionary or things explaining.
I just save it all on my iPhone notes.
But one day that's gonna be gone.
Just kidding.
One day, that's life.
No, but
you
it's
have to learn how to read and write again.
It's in the cloud. It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud.
It's safe.
I know. It's all safe. Oh, the cloud, that goes into like your physical copy, right? So music, for instance, an easy one. I got it on Spotify. I got it on YouTube Music. Oh, I got it on my Apple server. You know, it's on their server. One day, if it's down or you didn't pay, your shit's gone that you've been collecting for all that. I remember Ron Perlman bitching at Apple because he couldn't find his music library anymore. And he's like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, he has a lot to complain.
Remember when they were taking all those apps, like Apple was taking down apps? They can't use our app store. Google was taking down apps.
Fortnite.
So yeah, just all your shit just gone. You know, you're using their servers and stuff like that. Even Amazon like servers. A lot of people use Amazon servers, like big corporations
For their business. Wow.
Yeah, for their whole thing.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about the deep talk, like how I was saying, like how, you know, how you're born like immediately in a system. You can't really go out anywhere and do anything like that. You know, I think we've lost touch with what we are. And I think that the whole aliens and all that stuff too, it falls in line with that too. They're like just checking us out. Like these guys made this weird fucking system that they follow for no reason. Like they use paper things that pretend there's value behind it, and they work their fucking whole lives doing all these hard things, you know. And every once in a while, I have these little moments of clarity, like it's for split seconds. Like I think I mentioned just earlier, where I think I got the answer to everything. It's
Coming
just
out
like
next week.
boom.
It's a
But
new
then I get
James Fox
scared
documentary
I get scared to hear
about,
everything, to
a
know everything,
UFO
because I
landing
think
in
once I know
Brazil
everything,
in
that's the end of it all.
1996.
You know.
Holy shit, it's incredible. I had no idea that there's a city called Virginia in
I guess it is in Brazil.
and
Yeah.
in 1996, according to everyone who was there, according to medical records of people who were there, according to like they blocked off, the military came in, cordoned off the area, they recovered a crashed UFO, and there was living creatures that people came in contact with, and one of them was this tiny little
Virginia.
thing that this guy carried, and he carried it to wherever they were going to examine it. And when he carried it, he got whatever was on its skin. It had like a slippery kind of skin. It got into his body and infected him. And he wound up with this horrible general infection. And he wound up dying. His body shut down. His immune system shut down. His body didn't know what the fuck to do with this alien thing that he was interacting with. And there's
Which means
real
that if
records
we
of this
touch 'em,
guy
it might be toxic.
contacting this thing,
Mpox.
grabbing it, carrying it in. All these people witnessed it, and then this guy winds up with this insane infection shortly thereafterwards. That's all documented too. All of his
The
medical
birth of
records.
I
certain
find it more
binaural diseases
fascinating
come
that there
from
are
aliens.
groups of people that don't
Yeah,
believe these
so
stories.
that's
This
always
is
a
a
fear.
fascinating. I mean, you got to be an idiot to believe.
But
That's
this one's particularly fascinating.
But the
because-
bubble that we live in, where
Yeah.
you have not witnessed I'm talking about you being somebody who's listening here,
Right.
because you haven't seen a spaceship, because you haven't been abducted, because you didn't read this story, to just convince yourself that it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Man,
I'm
oh
just
man.
thinking, I saw that story, and I'm all about like consideration of it.
I was digging those Howie Mandel glasses.
I know. Did you see
Those were
those?
tri-
Those are
those
kind
were
of dope. I
tripping
was like,
me
is
to-
that Howie Mandel? He never looked
You
so
got me
cool.
like mesmerized just looking at him. I'm like,
You
dude,
tried
they
really
look
hard on
like
that
they
one.
go-
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he
Whoa,
was
dude.
trying hard on it. He's like, fuck yeah, I'm going on Joe Rogan. I'm doing it.
His
I'm
style
doing
is
Oh man,
you're going
delved
big.
out.
But you know, they found like
Look
a
at Walter.
whale, like a shark deep in the jungle, and they're like, "Wow, how did this happen?" And it's like, well, it turned out a tornado in the water fucking shoots a whale all the way up in the sky and launches it 100, 200 kilometers. And if you saw that, you'd be like, "No way, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's what it is."
That makes
Or
Or
in the
alien
Bible.
transported it. That's what it is. I'm just saying, stranger than fiction. Stranger than fiction.
Strange things happen, but I think that I 100% believe in aliens, 100%. And if it turns out the ones in Mexico aren't real, then some other ones are going to be real. And I don't know why they're this little like just the tip they keep giving us. They just keep giving us a tip only. Just put the whole thing in already. Show us some. Let's be let's be friends.
David, remember that movie Independence Day?
Yeah, of course.
Saw
You know
that on
what
my
scene?
birthday.
You know what scene I remember right now when that girl is on the top of the building and she's like, "We're here for you." Like they love the aliens and they shoot them down. Remember that?
Yeah, there's gonna be plenty of nuts like that.
There will be an art where they'll embrace the aliens when they come, if they come, right?
Well, humans
Mars
are just gonna have to
attacks.
get used to there being another species.
I like how they talked in that movie. They're like, Dolphin.
Oh yeah. He's like, what's his name? Data from, I forget his real name, his actual name, but Data from Star Trek. He was
Oh
saying,
yeah, the one that he was like.
that's when it happens. What you're talking about? He talks.
Wasn't
they're
there a part
through
two?
him.
Wasn't there a part 2 Independence Day? Shit.
I don't
Can
think
you
there
imagine?
is. How could there
Called the
be?
4th of July.
You're like, it's happening again.
One more time. Randy Quaid beat the aliens over. They didn't need to make another one. Michael Bay concluded it all. It's like, it's done and done.
Do you
They're
believe
like
do you believe God and the devil?
Uh-oh.
I do not believe in the devil.
But do you believe in God?
I don't believe in a monotheistic God like a Judeo-Christian God, but I believe in a divinity.
Do you believe a spark just have like a weird atom?
Like a spirit, the connecting spirit force.
But you
thing.
think something made you? You think a higher force made you and put you here? Whether it's aliens or whether it's a god.
I don't think
or,
it's as conscious as to make something. I think it's like
So you think it was?
it's like a we're all part of the network, you know.
Because I hear that we're living. The devil runs this realm. This is his realm. So we're all just pretty much in hell as of right now. But eventually we're gonna go to heaven, enlightenment,
or we can keep, being reincarnated like our guest was talking about last time, in other religions. The more, like I said, as I get older, I feel like I said, it's like a little clip for a split second, like, oh, I got the answer, but then it's like it goes away real quick. And like I said,
I'm kind of more on the page that you were saying, James. I kind of had that epiphany a long time ago that we're all kind of connected. I always felt that I'm part of you, you're part of me. I see extremes of myself in other people, or I'm an extreme of some other person's personality too. As evil as that person seems, or as good as that person seems, I've always felt that. And through psychedelics, I actually felt it a lot more. And I do feel like everything's connected in a way. As a higher power, I think that could be a higher power, but it would be a higher power of collectiveness, is what I think.
Yeah. So then the devil.
I don't think there's like necessarily something like that. I do believe in karma, because I do believe just in kind of science, and like a give and a push in certain ways where certain things will come back to you. Well, and it's not necessarily like an evil, but if you do something bad, you do something negative, come back to you.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest trick was convincing that he wasn't real, right?
I've heard that. What do you think?
I've heard that, but I just don't think that there's
what if you're wrong?
The other type thing and actual conscious of.
But that's if you're making the devil like Satan, right?
A bad guy, the bad ultimate evil bad guy.
Well,
you're right.
Go on.
No, John Scott.
The devil could be like just another little demon and stuff. There could be many the bringer of light, like like the fallen angel. So now you're saying the fallen angel, right? So you go, all right, then yeah, you could say he's down in the planet, right? Because he was like kind of like brought down and shit.
Yeah,
well, do you think there's any truth to the Bible though? That's the thing. Do you think the Bible is all completely made up, or do you think it's really like hey, there was these things before, and this is the way we interpret it? So I
think people like fantasy. I think
because that could have been aliens in that time, and then we're convinced like, hey, that's just not real. Stop believing in magic. Just go to work. Just do this shit, and then don't worry about the magic shit. Well, everyone has it, but you guys don't need to worry about it. You know. And maybe there's a skill that we don't have that we're not using because we're in a system that only we're in, and not in the system that the rest of the universe is in.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're saying, we're in our own little bubble in a bubble or some stuff like that.
Yeah, but
the filament.
I mean, have you ever heard this though, John? It's kind of like what you're talking about. That the devil, interpreting the devil biblically, as not a bad agent, but literally a vehicle of God. He is the prosecution in the courtroom. He's not a bad guy at all, actually. He's actually saying, hey, I don't think you're very good, Vince, James, John, David.
No, you're out of order.
God, you gonna look at this? You looking at this trash? You gonna call this?
You don't know me.
In that case, he's actually rebuffing you and making you consider, like, are you good? Are you doing the right actions? Should you be better?
I see
Instead
what
of
you're
it
saying.
being like tormented thing or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it'd be like the whole tormented thing. That there's only like mentioned in a couple things, right?
Right.
It's not like the most of the what we perceive of the devil is made up. It was not. It's not in the Bible where it says like everything. Like Dante's Inferno is a picture, and that's not in the Bible. It's
1,000 years later or some bullshit, right?
Yeah, and it's mentioned like I think it's just like one line says something. It's like, oh, so I'm gonna make a whole fucking painting.
But why does it keep like you guys keep calling him the devil though? Like if
whatever you want to call it,
Satan, the accuser, or
well, I'm just saying I'm because I'm relating it to a biblical text because that's pretty much what we know it from,
But that's what they say.
Why would the whole world write a whole story about this shit and then
It's called Satan in the book of Job. Is considered the oldest book in all of the texts, and it's called Satan there in the first chapter. And if you translate that, it means accuser, or one who stands in your way, like an adversary.
Right.
But when you look at it, he's actually just talking to God. Like he's invited there with the angels, just like anybody. And so he's like, well, have you considered God's the one who says, Job, have you looked at Job? You want to fuck up this dude's life? And Satan's like, oh, well, you got all those protections on him. Take those protections off and we'll see what's up. And then God's like, bet, let's do it. And then Job's like, this sucks. I had a good wife. I had health. I had homes. I had cattle, all lost. And then his friends are like, Job, you probably fucked up, dude, because God wouldn't do this to a good guy. And he's like, no, God would never forsake me. And then by the end, he meets God, and God's in a world where And he's like, God, but why? And then God gets pissed at Job for asking that question.
But that's when he takes his kids.
And he gives him more kids afterwards and more wives afterwards. No, that shit.
He takes 2 kids, but he gives them 5 or something.
He does something like that. Yeah, he like doubles it up. And like, oh, it's all good. State of the world, I guess, right?
Wow,
back then. The value of children and
Yeah, he goes, I'm going to take those 2 kids, but I'll give you 5 kids, but no, those 2 kids aren't coming back. I'll give you 5 new ones. Is what he does, some shit like that.
It's a dark story, really. I've heard that. I've heard that in Judaism they use that.
No, South Park said it, because God tested him. What he did is he said, all right, I think he had to kill his sons, or he killed one of his sons, and then he gave him
Abraham.
Abraham. Okay, I got it mixed up.
Yeah, I think he burned him or had him burned down like in a house or some shit.
Right, he's supposed to melt or burn him.
That happened to Hercules.
Yeah, you're right. Something like that happened, right? He like murdered his family.
His family got like murdered or something. I thought Hera did it. Like she put a spell on something and they all
make him crazy, and he murders his own family.
I never heard that version, but yeah, I heard it from you. But
that's what he did.
I'm taking your word on it.
Because he loses his family somehow.
He murdered him.
What about that? Like, do you think those were real? Do you think those are like the Nephilim, John? You talked about the Nephilim, and you talked about how you think it might be true. The Nephilim are supposed to be sons of fallen angels.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think man, like being here, always wants to like fantasize about something, even though it's not like might be.
No, but we have proof of like huge giants now. They're talking about it more and more every day. Like I keep showing you, like I keep sending you guys in the chat. Mostly to joke around, but sculptures of like trees and people walking around all tall, and then they show small people right next to them that are like, oh, these are the regular humans, and these.
No, we had giants back in like 19.
It would explain how big heavy things are built, like 100%.
Oh,
yeah, they're good craftsmen, dude. They built.
Giants. We've had giants back like not too long ago. We had one we have one in the Hollywood and Highland.
Andre the Giant.
We had Andre the Giant. We had people that were huge, and even like what is it, Yao Ming, the Chinese basketball player? That guy's like 8 feet tall. Now just imagine like
that's a bunch huge guy at the Dodger game. He must have been like 17 years old, but this guy was fucking.
But so yeah, I mean, there's like big people for sure. But real quick though, just like one idea, because you're just like, oh, big structures. Like I heard an argument, and tell me if anyone's heard it. Like, oh, see these doors? See how big those doors are? Proof. What would go through that if it wasn't a giant? But then if you go to Italy, go to Rome, and you see those big doors, they're built where one person could push it open because it's so proportionally correct that they're actually just showing. They're showing you they had a really strong understanding of mathematics and proportion that one person can move that big door, and it didn't require it. It was a symbol of grandness as opposed to like, I'm a fucking huge ass 10-footer.
Maybe they had like very big fucking like art. Right? Maybe they had like statues they wanted to bring in.
The Colosseum, or what is that one? The Colossus of Rhodes, or
any Egyptian statue that you see. It's like the things are fucking huge.
So let's just make the fucking door fucking big. You know what I mean? Like, because like maybe even like
kids made it in the sand, and then that.
Yeah, even the way you described it, you just described my front door too. Like I could just push it mathematically, it's perfect, but it's small too. It's tiny.
It's perfect for your size.
Yeah, fucking giants. And where have they found like giants in Rome? Like in Italy, have they like pictures?
They're deep in the tunnels under what you call it, Vatican City. Vatican City has a huge tunnel system that goes to lots of different player areas, and they're supposed to have like, of course, human trafficking down there, and a bunch of crazy secrets, and a bunch of hidden history, like stuff because they went around the whole world and they collected their own artifacts from every culture, and they have like libraries full of things, but only a select few will ever be able to go down there.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that meme that girls are putting out going, guys are only thinking about Rome? Have you seen that?
Yeah, for sure.
Like how often are guys?
It's because we're watching our society crumble, and the only thing we have to relate to it is the story of Rome.
Dude, that Salvador Dali fucking picture right there. That's a
right.
Badass
Isn't that dope?
That was fucking cool.
That's the Colossus, though. They don't know if that was real, though. It's just talked about in
Penis Colossus.
War. There's like a big ass statue. between two ports or whatever to the feet on each
Yeah, I don't
side.
think I've ever seen that one. He
I
has
don't know
some-
if they've even found it. I don't know if they've even found it, John. Like they just talk about it, but yeah, there's no sculpture that's been found, no pieces in the water or anything.
Yeah.
So they start to wonder like it was hype. Just like Atlantis,
Do you
like
think-
it's an idea, but it's because the point of Atlantis in Plato's Republic, as I understand it, it's a huge ass volume, like 10 books. But as I understand, he sells Atlantis as an idea and that it failed. And here's why a perfect society will never exist. He uses that as like a tool, like a literary device. So it makes you wonder, like, was it ever real, or is he just saying we all know this fictional story? So let
I
me
think
use it
that
as
there
an
was a
example.
number of places that were real that you know, that we find artifacts all the time in sunken cities and stuff like that, and any one of those could have been.
Yeah. I also think that like we have had big cities like that because even like when
15-minute cities.
we have like we have planes now with radar that go over land and they see like, whoa, there used to be a huge ass civilization on there and stuff like that. I just think like the earth cleanses themselves. You know what I mean? It has big ass earthquakes or it has big ass floods.
Yeah, it shakes out the bugs and restarts.
Yeah,
again.
and it floods that whole town, and most of them people die or bring in a new bug. They give like a lot of people,
like roaches.
yeah, and they freaking die out.
Get used to the poison.
So in other words, John, you were saying the Earth was a filthy tramp that needed to be washed down.
Cleanse.
And you're one of the
Cleanse
dirty bugs
itself.
on there.
Dead bugs.
You're the carbon that you're trying to erase.
Y'all ever think about like blood sucking things? Like how the heck's a bed
Yeah, I get
bug
bit all the
even-
time.
It's
Thank
just
you,
like
Bill
it only
Gates.
wants human blood. Like yeah, and these mosquitoes. Like what the hell? How did they come up? Like when like okay, the little mammal, the little whatever goes into the ground, the comet, the dinosaurs are dead, but a mosquito's like all right, I'm gonna like start eating these motherfuckers to live.
I heard
kinda
on Joe Rogan that whales derived from wolves.
Whales?
Yeah,
What?
I heard it from Joe Rogan. He's a
Well, that
scientist.
sounds crazy.
What?
That sounds
No, but he was talking to someone. They said yeah, that happened. And the same thing with trees. Trees they came from the ocean too. And then they're like, well, what the fuck? Like
that makes sense.
what when or no, it was like something
Yeah, because
different.
there's underwater trees.
Yes.
There's underwater
No, it was
trees.
something different. There's something trippy about trees. It wasn't that. It was something where it's like, well, that makes no sense. Like what? Just like something decided to be a tree.
All right, here's a shot for everyone. Here's a shot at a cannon. What would you think the very first living thing on Earth was? In your mind. It's okay
What
if
a
you
terrible-
you can go back to the science books, but what is your thought when I say that? What comes to mind?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Slime, maybe some weird slime moving.
Slimes. The slime. We'll eat the slime.
No, it's got to be like some atom, some like neutron. Or something.
Yeah,
Like an animal thing or plant.
like an actual animal?
Flora-fauna,
Hmm.
I mean, if you're not talking enzymes or fucking a nucleus or shit like that, as far as an animal, I mean, probably
Or
Darwin is fucking fish.
Or leaf.
saying a fish makes sense.
Yeah, so
What
something
about
like
plant? What about a plant?
Tadpole.
Plants.
yeah.
I want to say a fungus.
but
I want to say.
but I thought you were thinking more animal. Why?
Or chicken, and then
Well,
it laid an egg.
What about like the Venus flytrap? It eats meat.
Well, yeah, just
Yeah,
think of something that reacts to light.
It's
It'd
the
be
same thing.
like a plant.
How it breaks it
Carnivorous
down.
plant.
Yeah.
There's a couple plants that eat bugs, not just like the Venus flytrap. There's like these other
And
little.
if they were large enough, they would be able to eat humans too.
Shit. Scary.
Damn.
What plants come to mind, John?
Little shop of horrors.
I know. I was thinking that.
Feed me.
What other plants come to mind that eat a flesh though? 'Cause I can't
There's this
think of-
one that it's like this, and it has like these little like drops on it, and once a fly goes to it, because they're sweet, and it goes like this, and then it like digests it like that, and it's like these little like say like your fingers with olives on it, but just
Yeah.
imagine like red and like each one's like clear, so the fly goes up there thinking it's good, and then it just kind of like sticks to them and gets them and like eats them all fucked up.
It's
Yeah, that's the
crazy.
thing is like if you want to be free, you're free to be killed too.
Well, there's things growing with you. They're paying attention to what you're doing too as you
Yeah.
move along.
You make your communities, and I guess the society is inevitable.
It's life.
But what about like a fungus? deriving from like
I hear fungus is all cool with each other too.
Yeah.
They all talk and chill with each other.
I think that's a whole nother thing when you start getting the mushrooms and shit like
put
that.
like the veins in the
But
ground.
what about the
Because don't they say mushrooms actually breathe oxygen as opposed to plants?
Some are like fucking like
Yeah,
really.
they breathe oxygen, but plants breathe.
They're supposed to have like a communication system too. Like they're able to like tell each other where nutrients is and
they can
and-
communicate with each other.
But what about this shit,
Aliens.
guys? Remember this guy? Speaking of plants, humans and plant, the tree man of Indonesia.
I don't.
He's not
like
alive anymore. He's not with us anymore.
I don't like it.
You know how that happened though, David? He said he tripped and fell and scraped his knee. It was simple, and I was like, "Oh!" And now I'm half tree.
No, that was
Like,
gonna happen to him either way. It just started on his knee.
But there's other people that have this too, and then he said that if he stayed still, it would grow into the ground.
No,
He
he got that from being promiscuous.
He got fixed though. I think he got it all cut off.
He died.
Oh yeah, but
he got a lot of it fixed. But look, I mean, shit.
You get
this is
that's
him
a
after
slow,
surgery.
that's a slow death,
He
man.
had gotten work done, but it got worse. It just kept going.
yeah, it came back.
It's painful. It's like arthritic.
All right, and on
Hey,
that,
hey,
guys,
where's the devil in that? Where's the devil in that, huh?
well, on that note, looking at somebody with that type of extreme, how's 2023 been for you guys so far? Was it as bad as that guy?
It's been up and down.
It's been about that guy. No,
money wise, it's a little. I'm hurting. Not like it's just it sucks because before you could buy something, hey, I got a good price. Now it's like, oh man, damn. Sorry, buddy.
No, I expect it to be $100 no matter like what store I go to. But like I was talking to us in the chat earlier, I do have a big family, so I gotta, I am buying like a lot more of what I used to would buy. But yeah, like you were saying, 20 is a new 50. I see I spend like at least like $80 something every time I step out the fucking door.
Yeah, but even outside of economy, quality of life.
But no, mine hasn't been bad. I've been working the whole time. I've been able to find a little side job too here and there to make some extra cash when I need to. I've gone on vacation. Like I've actually done a lot this year. Besides being all pissed off of like watching the politics go on and watching just unfair justice on both sides and shit. I mean, my well-being's been all right. I think I have a different approach on life though than I did a year ago. There's a lot of growing going on there, but as of right now, yeah, just I gotta vote a little bit more. I'm a little bit worried about my kids and what they're pushing in schools and stuff of that sort. I think that some things shouldn't be taught, and some things should just be let be, But besides that,
it's pretty good.
Not bad. I started a podcast with some good friends of mine.
How about you, James?
Comparative to the tree man, great. Doing great. Feeling fine.
my skin couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better, dude. Woo. I did go to the dermatologist. They sprayed I had a skin tags.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go back in a week, but I had like just basic moles. But they sprayed some and I was like, whoa.
So he sprayed and licked? He did a spray and lick?
He did a quick spray and then he licked. Wait, no, he didn't lick. No, he said he'd do that next time.
He nibbled them off.
He goes, next time I got you.
Baby choose.
He goes, I got them up.
Your insurance covers it.
How about you, John? Just quality of the year.
So far so good, but I mean, like, I'm getting up in that age where like I should go see a doctor just for go get a checkup. So I'm thinking that's what I'm probably gonna do. Because I'm like, hey, you know what? It's I'm getting up there. I just need to know what I'm working with because then like from there I could go because they just
trust doctors?
Huh?
Do you trust doctors?
I'm gonna have to trust this guy. He's gonna have to read the labs.
Maybe you don't have to do that at all. And like he's just like,
I'm happy to hear that though, John. Prophylactic and preventative. It's important to look.
Even though too, I have my insurance from work, so it's just there.
I can do it for you, dude.
Yeah, if you're paying for it or getting it for free, you might as well.
Yeah, because I want to go do the whole works. I want to go to the eye doctor. Even though I have good eyesight, I never needed glasses.
I just recently used my insurance from the eye doctor because I'm switching my insurance over right now. So I figured I might as well just fucking use it since I'm getting some type of discount out of it.
I got double root canal. I got new teeth back there.
going back to
Yeah, I'm gonna go see a dentist too. Like, see what's working up in there.
But yeah, you could go to the doctor. It doesn't mean you have to do what they say, but you could go to the doctor and check it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I want to say your level, your
Find out their opinions.
your testosterone is to the roof. I'm like,
No, you are a man.
I didn't come for that. I didn't come
What
for
a man.
Goodness.
My goodness. Jesus, your T levels. Your T levels.
Look at those biceps.
Yeah, he yells out to the nurse, "We got a fucking stud in here."
Nurse, get in here. I've never seen anything like this.
Everyone crowds in the little room.
Yes. So
we got,
How about you, David? How about you, though?
yes, I was going to reflect on myself right now. It's, ups and downs. You know, every year has it. Income here and there, getting back on the right track. But, you know, it's been a year of self-reflection in a good way, where I'm just counting my blessings and being happy for what I got, type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just
that's always good.
staying positive and really happy right now.
There you go.
So
That's what you gotta do.
with that, that's
Happy
kind
belated birthday to you, by the
I
way.
think I'm living my best life right now
Yeah.
too.
but yeah, I mean, this podcast has brought a lot of joy to me personally, if I want to be sentimental like that. And I just kind of wanted to end this season on a good note. And
Yeah.
Totally.
I guess we're gonna end this. We're gonna give you a little glimpse of your neighborhood's best. We'll show you the intro for the next season. And yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of time off and then come around probably the end of October and get a little spooky with you guys. New topics, new guests, new everything. I'd like to thank my co-hosts, everyone who's a part of the show. You guys have been awesome. You know, I too enjoy the show. It's the highlight of my day. You know, Monday I'm just thinking about it, waiting to get off work so I could jump on here with you guys and bullshit and see your guys' faces. You know, so
Bullshit
peace.
for sure. Peace.
I